Hello, my name is Mr. Gutch and I am the Deputy Head Teacher with responsibility for personal development at Ilkley Grammar School. While it's taken for granted at a school such as ours that an exceptional education should be about much more than just exam results, it is actually much harder to define what we actually mean by personal development, even though we all know that students benefit immeasurably from taking part in activities such as raising money for charity, work experience, theatre productions, public speaking, sport, trips and visits, the Duke of Edinburgh, the list goes on. What I'm going to do over the next 15 minutes or so is to go through the key slides in the presentation, which has also been sent out to you as a PDF, to just draw out some of the key themes and the key ideas to do with our relaunch of personal development this year. You may want to have a look at the PDF in more detail in your own time, and to look and to think through some of the aspects in more depth. So firstly, what is personal development? For us, we've developed the concept that personal development is the combination of experiences across the taught curriculum and beyond, which lead to the development of qualities such as respect, wisdom, integrity, empathy, resilience, and character, for example. These are qualities that are not easy to define, although we do recognise them when we see them in other people. You also can't go to an empathy lesson or an integrity lesson. It's something that is built up over time. So for us, personal development is a web of experiences. And the idea behind that is that all these experiences are interrelated. And secondly, we also believe that personal development and the different personal development activities that students may be involved in form virtuous circles. And that's the idea that these experiences reinforce each other, that the experiences that students have both at school, in and out of lessons, and beyond school combine together and reinforce each other. And the idea behind that is that the more we do, the more we become. There are some core principles that we've developed over the last year or so since I've been working in this area that I wanted to share with parents and carers, and that's already been shared with students earlier this term. Firstly, that personal development curriculum is a journey, and it's a journey that runs from year 7 to 13. Secondly, it's a web of experiences, and these experiences are unique to each individual and the path that they take. Personal development is also in alignment with the school vision and values that we've relaunched in September. It's a curriculum and it has core content that all students will access each year in lessons such as PBT and citizenship. And personal development, the core aspects of personal development, sit alongside the range of additional enrichment opportunities such as extracurricular activities that are on offer, taking place both in and out of school. The personal development curriculum has what we call a spiral structure with recurrent themes, which are revisited and build up over time as part of a joined up vision for year 7 all the way through to year 13. It also offers a balance of general experiences, core experiences, alongside the opportunity for individual specialism, things that students may focus on because they have a particular area of interest. We also want, by the end of their time with us, for students to be able to articulate with confidence the way their experiences fit together, and to also be able to connect up their experiences so they understand how those experiences reinforce each other. So we've developed 8 personal development strands, and all the opportunities and experiences that students will encounter both in school and out of school, both in lessons and out of lessons, will fit somewhere within this web of experience. We have active citizenship and community, leadership and influence, scholarship and curiosity, next steps and careers, sport, interests and culture, health and well-being, respect, equality and diversity, and discovery and adventure. And we organise personal development at IGS within those strands. The other thing to mention here is that these strands and this web of personal development is in alignment with the values that we've launched and developed alongside our vision over the last few months. And the idea is that students both demonstrate and develop the school values as they build up the web of experiences, knowledge and skills of personal development. In terms of the bigger picture, the overall aim is that we grow in wisdom and stature, which is our school motto. On this slide here, we just have a set of statements relating to the different personal development strands and how the school values are interwoven with those strands, that you both demonstrate and develop the school values by being involved in these different aspects of school life. So, practical question, where do students experience personal development? So I've already said that it's delivered through a complex web of experiences, both in and out of school. But just to go into a little bit more detail. Firstly, there are the core or compulsory elements of the personal development curriculum that all students will experience by coming to school each day. And those are delivered through PBT, tutor time and assemblies, citizenship and RE lessons, activities in the different subjects that students study every day, because all of those involve aspects of personal development in different ways. Challenge and Celebration Week also offers opportunities for all students to develop as a person. And then finally, we also have things such as drop-down days and awareness weeks. An example of that would be Diversity Day or Wellbeing Week, which are one-off events or weeks where an aspect of personal development is explored. All students will typically experience a combination of those. Alongside that, at Ilkley Grammar School, we also have a range of optional personal development activities, which take place both in and out of school. Examples of those would be extracurricular opportunities at break, lunch and after school, at the weekends, things such as sport. School sport would be a very good example, but Charities Week as well. We have supercurricular opportunities available in different subjects such as competitions or wider reading, visiting speakers and theatre trips. The iLeader roles are also roles that students can opt into, each of which relate to aspects of personal development. Trips and visits are also things that students may be able to access, some of which all students can access, some of which some students can access. And then finally, there are also out of school activities, things such as sport, scouts, guides, a part-time job. That will vary hugely from individual to individual, but we know that these activities out of school also form an important part of students' personal development. So here is a summary of how the personal development curriculum breaks down. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but there are 15-minute tutor times which take place each week. It varies slightly depending on the year group, how many of those a form would have, but there are a number of tutor time periods where there will be shared reading, there are values presentations, and also things such as the weekly bulletin. Each year group will have one assembly per cycle, and there's also the weekly PBT, personal best time, where students will explore lessons in different personal development themes, such as scholarship and curiosity, how to be an effective learner, health and well-being, next steps and careers. And also through PBT time, we also focus in and launch different aspects of personal development, such as the leadership programme, the extracurricular programme, Charities Week and Challenge and Celebration Week are all launched through PBT, and therefore aspects of personal development that are explored and developed through personal best time. And then also the citizenship and RSHE curricula, and also drop down days and awareness weeks are where we also explore aspects of respect, equality and diversity and health and well-being. So hopefully this gives you a flavour of the different areas in which students will experience personal development opportunities. So just a little bit more detail about assemblies, because they're a little bit, we've refreshed them a little bit this year. They will typically be aligned with the new vision and values and personal development strands. They will explore inspirational and positive themes linked to current affairs and national events and awareness weeks. And we also want to use a range of speakers from in and out of school, to use a range of staff from across school, and also increasingly involve students in developing assemblies as well. So here's just a summary of the golden threads across different year groups within the personal best time curriculum. For example, as students explore health and well-being, they may start off looking at understanding mental health and well-being, then looking at stigmas and misconceptions regarding mental health, looking at self-care and resilience. And then as students enter the exam years, there may be practical approaches to coping with stress, exploring meditation, and also understanding where to access support. The concept behind these micro-curricula is, although they repeat in a spiral way as students progress up through the school, they are age and stage appropriate, depending on where the student is in their development. Similarly, with the scholarship and curiosity strand, they start off thinking about how can I be an effective learner, looking at homework and revision and independent study, and that develops into, for example, revision skills as students enter the exam years, but also looking at cognitive science, retrieval practice, how the brain works and how memory works. And that again is appropriate to the age and stage each year. And then finally, with next steps and careers, some of the key ideas are introduced in year 7, but also this is where we take students through options processes, looking at developing CVs as students enter year 9 and year 10, applications and mock interviews. And then as students reach post 16, looking at finances, managing money, and things such as rights and responsibilities in the workplace. So it develops and progresses over the course of students' time at IGS. Just a little bit of information about the IGS Big Read, which has been launched in year 7 and 8, which is a shared reading with the tutor reading a book 2 to 3 times a week with their form, which is designed to both cover some key texts within school, but also to inspire students to read out of school and to create a culture of reading. That is complemented with Drop Everything and Read, or Dear Time, in years 9, 10 and 11. And then a sequence of sessions in year 12 and 13 where students will explore great speeches, which links to the leadership and influence strand, as well as to the scholarship and curiosity strand. So What we're going to see in the next few slides is what a typical 2-week cycle looks like for each year group and how that aligns with the school values as well. I'm not going to dwell too much on this, and you'll be able to go back to it if you have a look at the PDF for the year group that is relevant to your child, but you can see very roughly how the different things, aspects of the personal development curriculum I've described break down on a day-to-day basis and how those align with the values. So this is for year 7 and 8, years 9, 10 and 11, year 12 and year 13. Similarly, just taking a slightly longer term view here, remember we're in our first year of this more structured approach to personal development. You can see for year 7 how the PBT sessions break down over the first half term, with microcurricular mental health and well-being at the end of the first half term, continuing into the second half of the autumn term, and then as we move into the second part of half term 2, we're looking at study skills with year 7. And these all link to the school values and also to the personal development strands. And you can have a look in more detail at the year group that is relevant to you, but you can see a similar curriculum in year 8, year 9, year 10, year 11, and year 12, and year 13. And again, each personal development strand is delivered in a way and at a level that is appropriate to the age and the stage of the students in that year group. The slide here is just a summary of the staff who have different areas of responsibility within personal development, and we've built that staffing structure up over the last 2 to 3 years. And you can see beyond that the range of student leadership roles that link to the personal development strands. And hopefully you can see how that coordinated approach will enable us to make sure that we deliver on all the different aspects of personal development, both in terms of staff responsibility and also student responsibility as well. This next slide here looks at how we're seeking to make personal development count for students and to count for the school. Some of these accreditations are school level accreditations and some of them are student level accreditations. Examples of the student level accreditations are the Duke of Edinburgh Award, the Sports Leader Qualification, the EPQ and the SSAT Leadership Qualification. And some of them are school level awards, some of which are already in place, such as the Quality and Careers Standard, the School Games Gold Award, the Mental Health First Aid Qualification, and some of them are in development. For example, we're currently working towards the Arts Mark with the Arts Council, and we're currently working towards the Red Award, which is an accreditation with Red Kite in the area of respect, equality and diversity. The thinking behind that is to try to make personal development count as much as possible for students. You obviously don't receive a GCSE in the aspects of personal development, but we want it to be as valuable as possible for students. So just a little bit on the systems, platforms and processes which underpin personal development. Firstly, all the information and opportunities are stored on Shobi, and students, parents and carers all have access to those folders on Shobi. Secondly, students are invited to participate in core and optional activities. All students will experience the core activities through things like PBT, assemblies and tutor time, and students also have the opportunity to sign up to the range of other personal development opportunities which are on offer. And then the third aspect of the process is that we will be tracking participation and monitoring that via Microsoft Forms. In terms of personal development, it will be a self-report that students will complete at the end of the autumn term. And that will then be turned into a self-report, which will be sent out to parents, carers, tutors and students. Particularly useful for tutors in terms of gaining an insight into all the different things that a given student might do. But the aim of that report is to start a conversation between parents and carers, young people, and also tutors about what the next step might be, and that will be unique to every individual. This is just a summary of what the personal development folder looks like on Shobi. You can see the 8 folders, and these are being added to by all the members of staff who have responsibility for the different areas of personal development. You can see here the IGS extracurricular timetable that's been dropped into the sport, interest and culture folder by Mr. Carr. And that will hopefully ensure that Shobi is a one-stop shop for all the different aspects of personal development that students might be involved in. The next few slides are what we call the personal development prompts, and these are examples of all the different aspects of personal development and opportunities that students may get involved in. The activities in bold are examples of personal development activities that all students will encounter just by coming into school. But the others are the range of examples, both in and out of school, of the things that students may be involved in. Here's the prompt sheet for year 7, year 8, year 9, year 10, year 11, and year 12 and 13. These are updated on an ongoing basis and are meant to both give ideas to students of things they may get involved in or out of school, but also to help students remember what they've been involved in, because we do know that students sometimes find that difficult. So here's just a summary of how we want to help students move from experiences to outcomes. So from personal development experiences, developing those qualities that I spoke about at the beginning of the presentation, with the aim, of course, to enable students over time to grow in wisdom and stature. So here again is a slightly different format of how our values, and by showing and living out these different values, we hope to enable students to achieve their personal best and to grow as individuals, but also to grow as a community. So the slides that I've shared with you over the last 20 minutes or so set out our vision for personal development. We hope that you have found it interesting. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to contact me via the admin inbox via school, and we will respond to you as soon as we can. But we hope that this presentation will be the start of a conversation between school, your child, and you as parents and carers about how to enable our students to develop as people, whatever that might mean for them as an individual.